Okay guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to our brand new location.
This is exciting.
Yeah, first video we've had a chance to do down at the new Mississauga store. You guys will see slightly different setup to the Toronto store. GC Hawk installed. About as clean of a kind of footprint as you can make for a hitting bay.
I love it.
We're really happy with it. Big shout out to the guys at Foresight for doing such a great job for us.
It's awesome.
So today we are here to talk about the launch of the new Titleist concept irons, Matty.
So we've got two new models basically of them.
Yep. One redesigned, slightly kind of reimagined model, and that's in the 04, which used to be known as the CP01.
Right.
When we tested that one last time, I mean, that was one that you actually hit really well.
I did,
last
yeah.
time.
I liked it a lot.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
And there used to be the CP01, CP02.
Yep.
But what the difference or the problem with that range was they were very different.
Very different.
Very different. The CP02, I mean, to be honest, in most people's hands, that's going to pass for a blade.
It is as narrow, you know what, it really reminds me of like the sole profile of like a P7 MC, very narrow.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Very player's look. It's a great looking iron.
Great looking iron.
Yeah.
And then the CP01 was much more generous, much more forgiving, much larger footprint.
Absolutely.
And trying to blend those, and we had a couple of customers who wanted to kind of blend them. Quite hard to sort of do that.
I can see that.
You know, they're too far apart.
Yes.
Enter the CP03.
Perfect kind of middle ground.
Yeah. So right in the middle, the brand new mid-size. So you've got your kind of players, your mid-size, and then your oversize version in the concept. So try and bring the three together. You can really see how somebody could combo 3s and 4s, 2s and 3s.
100%.
And kind of get the best out of what they want in that specific area of the bag.
That is a really good looking club.
Great looking iron. Really good looking iron. And obviously, for those of you who remember our first video on the concept line, this is Titleist's opportunity to have a line where they can experiment a little bit, use materials that are really expensive to source, difficult to source.
Right.
Get into the sort of aerospace materials and do some things conceptually, hence the name, that maybe would lead to other technologies and other developments within future iron lines.
And that's why I think it's quite interesting, because that technology will trickle down to the more affordable models.
Yeah.
These are sort of your flagship. They're PXG level pricing.
They are.
They are up there. So I think the first time we did the video, I don't remember if we mentioned this, maybe we just talked about it off camera, but I thought there's not going to be that many people who are going to pay close to $500 an iron.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, it's Ferrari, Lamborghini territory.
Yeah.
However, the interesting thing to me is how long is it before that Ferrari technology makes its way down to something that's actually reasonable for the rest of us. And
that's the nature of the beast, Matty, when it comes to materials and access. And if the demand is high enough, the companies can then go to whoever their source is for these materials. They can drive down their costs in order, because they know they have X amount of interest, or they know they'll sell X amount of units, and it starts to make business sense.
Right.
And hopefully down the line, that's what they'll get, because there are some really unique properties and design features in these concept irons. Over 104 grams of tungsten per head.
Wow.
In these new irons. That is a lot.
That sounds like a ton.
A ton.
Yeah.
So if you've got 260 gram 6 iron and there's about 105 grams of tungsten laid out across the sole, toe and heel, spreading the mass, spreading the, enhancing stability, and on the off-center hits, that's a lot of mass to have at your discretion.
And then the rest of the shell is a super lightweight metal.
Correct.
And it's there obviously to finish like the build of the iron, but the actual kind of weight features are all the tungsten pieces.
Exactly. Exactly.
Very cool.
So as a Titleist player and somebody who's been using Titleist, what I'd love to do is get a look at the Titleist irons as they are right now. A T100 has some tungsten in the sole.
That's right.
Has obviously to a lesser degree. It doesn't have quite the frame construction to deliver the ball speed that concept has. Loft-wise, the progression is 29 on the 6 iron on the 02, 28 on the new 03, and 27 on the 04. So we're not seeing lofts that are crazy strong like we are in other areas.
That's not absurd, 27.
It really isn't. I thought the revised 04, because it has so much tungsten low down, the mass would be lower in order to obviously generate the launch, that they might go 25
or
they
something.
They might do something like that.
I thought that's what you'd say.
So let's give them a hit. Let's hit a couple with yours
T100s.
first. Little baseline with T100s, and then we're going to focus on the 3s and the 4s today.
Perfect.
See how they are. Out the gates with a beauty.
Crisp. My irons.
It's almost like you know what they do.
Surface.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
A nice selection of the usual stuff. It's a good looking flight.
Yeah. That's extremely, extremely strong.
You just don't even have to do anything different. Tried my absolute best to make the same speed of swing. I think it actually was. And it's 6 miles an hour faster, 10 more yards in the air at least. Ooh. It's nice.
It wants the draw, doesn't it?
It's very,
it really
nice
does.
shape, doesn't it? Yep. So, I mean, obviously the offset difference between mine and these is substantial, but it's on purpose and it is going to be good for that player. A little shapely, but it'll hit the green. Yeah, that's fine. It's nice. You hit a very kind of reliable left to right shot.
It just looks like it wants to do that.
Yeah, it's nice.
We were just joking while warming up, and I was making a few left-handed swings, and obviously, struggling with the lefts in the irons, and I couldn't do anything but draw this.
How many people want to, throughout their set, limit a slice or hit a bit of a draw and have a reliable shape?
Well, look at this. This is the impressive part for me, is how tight the apex is on those.
Good point.
The spin rate came up, which was good. Nice to see. The first couple were a bit on the low side, but you really did retain some pretty good spin. And as a result of that, you actually gained some height.
Wow, 118 feet in the air.
Yeah. So your stopping power really hasn't been hindered. Obviously, your potential for a flyer went up because you lost a little bit of spin, but
fair enough.
500 RPMs.
And we had this conversation a few times. It's like, how often for a player do you hit 7, 6, 5, 4 iron long of a green?
I know.
Is it? And I was laughing on. I played golf on the weekend with a few friends, and they're like, never.
No.
So it's like, what are you worried about? You could always combo the short irons, as you said, if you're concerned about that, but not a concern. That's crazy. Look at the height. They're almost exactly the same.
Almost exactly the same. Great trajectory. If we look on the delivery side of things, so we were delivering 20 degrees of loft. Efficiency was super high. Perfect dynamic lie relative to your shape, what you need.
Yeah. 97 head speed was basically the same as what I had with mine. So it's obviously with the head construction and the loft, 6 miles an hour of ball speed is a ton.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, I think the head construction is giving you a little bit more than just the loft difference, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, the loft wouldn't do that much. It would, the launch angle staying almost the same is quite a good indicator that it's doing a lot more.
I would expect about a 3 mile an hour jump in ball speed going from 6 to 5.
Gotcha.
It's not almost 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So from what I believe, this one was sort of aimed at the older AP2 shapes. You remember they're the slightly large. I mean, T100 has evolved into a bit more of a player's iron, very, very sleek in the top line, a bit smaller in the head. This is a little bit more generous, but a bit more like an AP2.
Yeah, it's a bit longer, the blade line.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks great.
Looks great.
It really does, yeah.
That's perfect.
That looks really nice. It's not curving much, you're right. It's a good call. Wow. I mean, if there's one thing I could say about both of these, I really don't feel like I'm putting any effort in to hit it 205 or to whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like just not really much.
Very easy.
Which is nice. Like if you want to hit distances with your irons, as you know, like you can't be ripping at them.
Yeah.
If you want to control distance. They actually feel pretty similar, the 4 and the 3.
And that's one of the things with the 4 that I think has been the biggest improvement.
Yeah.
I thought the 01 was hard.
Yes.
I thought it was, it sounded hard, and when I hit it, it felt hard. Now it has a softness to it.
Definitely. Obviously, there's a little bit of click with any of these irons, but it's way less so.
Definitely.
Way less.
I think they've improved that portion a lot.
I could play these in my longer irons, this 3, easily. Like
honestly, Matty, I've
forearm.
been having some thoughts about putting some irons like this in the long end of the bag.
Like 4
recently.
and 5 iron, maybe?
Definitely.
Maybe 6 iron too.
Yeah, I mean a little extra horsepower. I mean it's not going to be bad for anyone.
There's not too much offset on this 3 at all.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty friendly for anybody. I really like it. I really like it. I mean, obviously the T100 is a little softer for sure and a little nicer at address, but there is nothing here that would be beyond what I would play.
Let's have a little look at the numeros. Look at your just
strike them all, yeah. It's funny, eh? Built-in strike technology. Oh, it's really not much slower, is it? That 3?
So it's a slightly more neutral, version.
Wow.
So spin and launch is kicked up a little bit, as we would expect. That's the 1 degree aloft difference.
Right. Oh, it's only 1 degree.
1
that's
degree,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So 28 on the 6 iron, which by modern days is kind of the 6 iron.
Srixon 785s and everything are 28.
I mean, we always use that as our baseline because it's such a popular iron.
Right.
921 forged, 28 degrees hot metal, HMB, 28 as well.
Modern standard.
Yeah, modern standard. So, I mean, it looks great.
So that in fact flew even higher.
Yep.
I think you've basically just proven there that the loft is not the only thing contributing to the extra ball speed, because this had even less loft and it still almost kept up with the 04.
Yeah.
The face is giving you tons of pop. Same clubhead speed.
Yeah. Yeah, identical.
I'm pretty impressed.
It's really impressive.
As you should be, right? Like for for $500 an iron, if we were going, yeah, they're okay, then there'd be an issue. But they are absolutely extremely good. Obviously not going to be something that many people can play just due to price, but it's a really cool maybe future story for how these technologies could work their way into maybe it's the next T series. I would definitely test these. If someone can even justify a few of the irons in the bag, maybe not 8 irons, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll think about playing the 4 iron of that. I really like that a lot.
Yeah, it feels good, looks good.
It does.
I think for somebody like yourself and playing the Titleist iron already, I mean, the thing is, you got to be a bit price averse to look at these irons in the first place. And fitters obviously have to be mindful that that's the first conversation you have. Mr. Bloys, do you realize this is a $500 USD iron?
You realize your bank account's about to get emptied.
Yeah. And if it's one of those, listen, I'm here for performance. I'm here for the best that I can possibly get your hands on. These are going to be in the conversation.
100%.
At either level, 2, 3, or 4.
Agree.
Totally. There's so much help. Just looking at the stats, on the O2, over 113 grams of tungsten, or averaged 113 grams of tungsten in the small head.
In the smallest head.
In the smallest head. So obviously, having a lesser footprint, a lesser sort of cavity back, they're going to put more tungsten in there to offer more stability and forgiveness.
Of course.
In this one, this is about 100 grams of tungsten in the 04, the largest head, because you have obviously more mass and more surface area to provide you stability and forgiveness. Right. And then this guy's about 104 or so in the 03.
In between somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in there. There's a lot going on, a lot of help being built and designed into these heads. And like we said, guys, if performance is your main drive and you're looking to invest in some clubs and a nice set, they come in the 2, 3, and 4 come righty and lefty,
which is lovely,
which is nice. So impressed, eh?
I'm very impressed. A set of 2s comboed with 3s.
Yeah.
I can tell you for sure I would play something like that if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I can really see someone enjoying a set of 4s and 3s in the short iron. If you're on that end of the spectrum, you want a little more forgiveness.
Absolutely. The player looking for a bit of shape.
Yeah.
That draw bias was an interesting find for us, wasn't it?
It was really, really nice. And I think, obviously, the longer the iron gets, if you struggle with a fade or a slice, it just gets worse the longer the iron gets and you won't hit them.
Yeah.
And if that's your 5 iron or something, I don't think you'd have any issue hitting that high and straight.
No.
It'd be way easier.
No, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah,
that was great.
Okay, guys, some food for thought for some of you. I know the original concept video was popular for us, and lots of you were interested in this unique line. It's not available for all Titleist dealers. We're one of the very lucky ones in Canada that get the opportunity to sell concept irons. You won't find it in the pro shops.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so there's only very select dealers in each territory. So we're very, very fortunate and thankful to be one of them.
No, this was really fun to test.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Excellent. Okay, guys, stay tuned for more. We'll see you again soon.